O Emperor, from the snares of the heretic, the mutant, the xeno, and the warp spawn. In you we place all our faith. In you we find refuge. In you we find our avenger. Lead us forth into legions of humanity's foes. With thy spirit and give us the courage and capability to slay the foes in every battle we are compelled to fight, where they last until the end of time.
We're all going fishing.
Yeah.
Hello,
fishing.
everyone.
I wish.
And welcome to Conventual Warfare, the third episode, number 3. Oh, I need to put something on, don't I? Boom, there we go. It is good to be back with the sisters. And there we go. So everything as was last time is still true. There's a Patreon. You can go check out the Patreon. There is a Twitter. No, it's called X now. I keep forgetting. There is a Discord. There is a website where hopefully in the future we're going to update it a little bit and throw in some art. So, oh, that's a good point. I haven't said this before. If any of you want to make like some, just some fan art or whatever of any of the shows you've watched from The Wandering Inn, feel free to chuck it in the Discord. Feel free to send it to me on Twitter, and yeah, I will be throwing them up on the website in this kind of like art section, which will have art from the shows that we've had done, the Askren stuff, etc., and also any like fan art that has been made. I may get people asking me to put them on different things. People aren't as confident about their fan art as Askren maybe of his. Yeah, so yes, if you are interested in the channel and seeing more shows, go check out the Patreon, pledge a little bit of money. The more people who are pledging, the more monthlies that we get, the more shows I can do. We're reasonably close to a second show, which will mean 2 live shows a week, which would be awesome. Although I will also panic, because I'll have to figure out either a way to GM twice a week, or start finding GMs, because, yeah. Side-eye everyone in the Zoom call. Hey. But yes, aside...
I don't DM. I just sow chaos.
Yeah. That's fine.
This is an anti-chaos god stream, so that stops.
That is valid.
We'll just go chaos fishing instead.
Yeah.
Chaos fishing and mining.
There is a certain irony to bringing on probably a champion of chaos onto a sister show, but past that, if you like everyone here, if you're interested in anyone in here, the links are down below in the description. You can go click on them, you can go follow them, and when they do things, you might be able to see it if they are live, or tweeting, etc. like that. No, Xing. Is it Xing? No.
No.
Stop it.
No.
I think you did that once
Just
before.
no.
I hate it.
Okay.
I don't like that.
No.
Yeah.
So, with all of that said, shall we get rolling? So last week we were introduced to the new, well, not new, she's been in the order for a little while, but we were introduced to a Dialogus named Cerestra Lilith, who has been promoted because there aren't enough admin, diplomacy, emissary, people to do work that helps Sister Minerva. And so, Sister Lilith was promoted, essentially, and is joining the command team to essentially help with diplomacy, to sort out problems when you have to deal with other people outside of the order. And I'm sure she's going to love it, seeing as she was breveted from the basically talking to Imperial Guard sergeants. She now has to talk to like planetary governors and stuff.
It's great.
It could only go well.
Can only go up.
Additionally to that, Sister Minerva, the commander, Canoness commander, was informed that there's a few happenings going on. She was contacted by it was the lieutenant, wasn't it? Engineer Lieutenant Velvek, who asked her to help fortifying a section of Hive Calliades. The lower outer wall needs to be fortified and repurposed to a factorium. A small factorium, basically, making munitions, etc. The locals are protesting, and the Imperial Guard haven't been able to respond in time, so the sisters sent out, I believe...
What did we...
You sent out 8 squads with a tank and support vehicles.
Yes.
And then you sent out another 5 squads of sisters just to the surrounding populace, just to kind of like be in the area and keeping everything chill and calm. Additionally, there was 3 more cases at the mines of some form of bizarre sickness. And the townspeople are being subjected to 6-hour checks just to make sure that everything is good and dandy, that no one else is contracting it. The commander decided that this was the place they would go and deal with first, and so prepared to set off and go check out the mines. Unfortunately, around about the same time, she was contacted by the Cardinal, who used to be the, let's call it, ruler of this world, who has ceded control of the world, but is still an influential figure. He said, hey there, I think it would be a good idea for me to do a tour of the world and boost morale for everyone. And quite cleverly, Sister Minerva said, okay, let's start at this mine over here. So when he turned up, they basically bundled him into a flyer and sent him over to some little mining town somewhere, because they still wanted to deal with the caves and the mine.
Yes.
Hopefully he will get a chance to go on his tour with some guards and everything. But for now, the sisters have touched down at the mines, and where we left off last time, they were preparing to go in and investigate it to see if there is an ongoing problem, or just basically to figure out exactly why there are people getting a bit mutated and corrupted down there. Because it appears to only be the miners who are suffering this problem. So, with that, interestingly, we are going to fade in at the bottom of Hive Calliades, where there is a large crowd, thousands and thousands of people all huddled up, and there's a lot of shouting, there's banners being waved, and outside of this area is a cordon of PDF vehicles, along with some dotted sister from the Order of Pure Intent vehicles and sisters, kind of, beefing up the line of the PDF. Currently speaking, one of the sisters is Sister Superior, same rank as Sareth Rose, is kind of arguing with one of the PDF, and the camera swings over into the crowd where a woman crouches down to a slightly smaller child and essentially says, it won't be much longer, they're going to relocate us and and everything will be fine. As, like, all around her, people are shouting and, you know, angry faces and all that type of stuff. Eventually, the Sister Superior stands up on... I think I have her name, actually, here. I may not have her name. Yes, I do. Sister Superior Flare stands up on one of the trucks and pulls up this loudhailer that she you know, essentially it's like a megaphone. It's the 40k equivalent of a megaphone, and starts to speak into it, and she says, everyone, please calm down, please be quiet. We will now...
It doesn't pick up well enough, Sheepy.
Oh, can you not hear what I'm saying?
Your megaphone
Okay,
is very
well,
hard
screw that.
to-
Screw the
I was
megaphone
gonna say,
then.
is it weird that it's kind of like an actual like in-game thing because people are like, I can't understand what they're
Yeah.
In that case, don't worry about that. She says, everyone, calm down, please settle down. You'll, and like as she's kind of like shouting, the crowd's slowly, you know, there's some disgruntled looks. There's small murmurings, but the general kind of crowd loudness kind of bubbles down to basically almost nothing. And as it does, she says, "Good, right now, we will now inform you where you shall be going." And when she does that, a gunshot rings out, and we cut to black. As the camera fades back in to the sisters as they are entering the mine. So, as you are walking down into this mine, you have the standard... It's as I said last time, the mine itself is fairly low-tech. You can, even at the entrance, you can see like mining helmets and like pickaxes. It's clear that they are, or they have been, using fairly low-tech just to get the metals and materials out of the ground. And as you go in, you see, like, to give you an idea, they're using wood, just like wooden struts to hold up the mine. So it's a pretty basic thing, very ragged, and lots of discarded mining equipment, helmets, rocks all over the place. In this instance, could all of you... I know it's weird, we're doing a roll already, but could all of you give me an awareness, please?
Oh, Sheepy is giving us another chance to notice something.
That's just those in the mines, yes?
Well, all of you have gone down into the mines, to my knowledge.
Oh, yeah. Did I go down to... Yeah, I did,
Yeah.
right? Yes. Okay.
There was a I think there was a concern about the Cardinal. However, he's been distracted by talking to the mayor while like
Right.
meeting the populace. Anyone who is a problem or could be a problem has been kind of isolated, and they're like, okay, we're gonna give you your checkup, you know, hourly 6-hourly checkup, and being kept away from the Cardinal. Okay, let's have a look at how everyone did. That's it was a 2 from Sister Rose, 2 from Lilith, a 0 from Sister Minerva, clearly worried about the Cardinal, and that's a 3 from our Hospitaller. I will say that as you start walking down the mine shaft, like deeper, on a couple of on some of the mine walls and some of the wood, Sister Praxira you notice this kind of like black gray kind of dust in some places, like up against the struts, and up against the wall. Some of it is like a dusting, almost like like someone rubbed some charcoal on it, and some of it is a bit more like gooey, so it's a bit kind of like liquidy, a bit kind of like it's here and there. Probably all of you notice it at least once, I would say, but for the Hospitaller, she just notices it repeatedly as kind of like a pattern.
Yeah. Can I go to one of the sides of the walls where I see the gooey stuff?
Yeah.
And assuming that, well, I knew that we were gonna take stuff with us, I would like to take like a glass container I have with me.
Just kind of scrape off the
Yeah, like not touching anything, but scrape off.
Okay.
Put it in there, like closed so nothing can get out or touch it. And as I catch up 2 steps from that, does that already point me in like any direction? Like, is there a use that I would mention this basically? Because like I could say, oh, there's black goo, but if it's just black goo, then it's like, okay, congratulations. Like,
so it's kind of hard to say what exactly it would be. Most likely, it would be from it'd be from the rocks and from the dirt.
okay, sure. So it's not like if I would mention this, anyone is any the wiser with it. So
No, I don't think
okay.
so.
Then yeah, sure. Then for now, I will have the little like glass container of it, and I'll
I would say
on with them.
in this instance, unless anyone has any compelling reason why they'd know much about mining or which I can't think of a reason, but hey, maybe you were a foreman in a mine or something at one point.
We built our monastery out of a mine. No.
I would say none of you are really knowledgeable enough about mining or mines to like draw any particular conclusions. I would say it would make a lot of sense, however, for the Hospitaller to get samples of anything as you head down, so.
Yep.
Okay. It is quiet down here because it is currently closed. The mine is closed down for like general mining purposes. There's no one in here. So what I will say is, as you keep going, obviously you got your weapons, most of which have lights on them of some kind. So flipping the lights on. The main mine shaft itself isn't actually that wide. I'd say probably about 2 people wide, shoulder length. So not cramped, but you got a little bit of head space, you got a little bit of shoulder space, and you're walking down. I would guess, unless Sister Minerva, you have a different approach you want to take, like in ones. Okay.
No, yeah.
In that case, what I'll say is, I don't feel anyone here would be particularly fearful or scared. Just purely because you are all sisters, you've faced worse than a dark tunnel.
I would think so.
Yeah. I would say that,
I fear nothing so long as I walk in the Emperor's light.
But there's no light in here.
There's light from the flashlights.
Okay.
And there is also like a kind of a lighting system running along the top. But a lot of them
makes sense.
A lot of them are turned off or not working, or so the light given to you from that is intermittent at best. And there are a lot of like snaking tunnels going away from the center to either the left or the right. Sometimes down a little bit, sometimes up a little bit. Presumably they found a vein to tap, and they've kind of dug out that way to get that vein. I would say by the time you've been going for about, let's say, 10 minutes or so, you start to the tunnel itself, the main mine shaft, changes from a very like ragged rocks everywhere, and you know the walls are very kind of like bumpy, ragged, to this almost like smooth, circular, just kind of straight down thing. It essentially, possibly they've changed equipment they're using or something, but the side tunnels remain the same. They remain jagged and etc. Everything all right there, LS3?
Yeah, sure. I'm not an architect. Maybe they like it this way, further down in the tunnels.
Fair enough. I will also say, at any point, if any of you do want to investigate further, let me know. However, for now, I'm assuming that the order is go down until we find something indicative of what the hell's going on here.
What does it smell like?
A bit musty. I'd say as you keep going, it gets a bit warmer as well, because, you know, that's how it gets. About a little bit before the smoothness begins, the kind of like almost like a. Has anyone seen Alien vs Predator? The one in the ice. There's the like ice tunnel that's like a perfect circle that just gets shot down. It's kind of a bit like that. But
I'm gonna say no, I haven't seen that because.
Right.
Okay.
Years ago.
Yeah. It essentially before that it was at parts a little bit damp, a little bit wet, slippery. Presumably there's been trapped water or something along those lines that has made it a lot kind of the footing isn't slippy or anything, but just, you know, a little bit of damp here and there. After that, with the circle, it's pretty much just like dry, musty, a little bit kind of dusty and etc. in the air. If you wanted, we can assume that at any juncture where there is a side tunnel or anything, that you sent one of the squad out through them just to investigate. They aren't super deep or long, so it would essentially be, you know, whether you want to do it in twos or whether you want to do it just a one sent off is down to you. But if you want to explore everything, that's pretty viable with your squad.
Canoness, your orders.
Perhaps we divide in twos then. Nobody
Yes, Canoness.
should be alone.
And I like whip to them and I go, spread out. In twos. Here and here.
And response is like, yes, sister. And immediately they kind of like separate very slightly into groups of two who can either fight, essentially like turn and fight back to back if needed, or when ordered can split off and go down a kind of snaking tunnel way. As I said, at most you're going to lose them for like a minute or two as they go down. It's not like a super intricate snaking system. Okay. In that case, I would say you go a little bit slower than you would if you weren't investigating everything. And at the point you hit the change into the smooth circle, you don't encounter anything. Once you start descending down this kind of smoother area, I will say, you know, like the floor of it has clearly been chipped a little bit to provide like very basic footpath down. So it's not just like a slippy slide, you just will go sliding down to the bottom of it. And as I said, there are still branching tunnels which go out that are more ragged and everything. I'd say maybe a couple of minutes into it, you do hear down deeper in the distance somewhere a very faint kind of like and like I'd say it sounds very much like the engine of a transport vehicle or a tank or something, you know, that kind of like chugging along of an engine.
Just a random chugging.
Yeah.
I find it very peculiar that there is a engine
Yes.
of a vehicular kind.
I thought that they weren't working down here.
To the rest of the to some of the troops, the ones that are staying with us, I will command, ready your weapons.
And lights fly about a little bit as they bring their weapons directly to bear. Question. Seeing as there is a small concern from your XO, are you going same pace? Are you preparing? Would you like to prepare anything? Would you like to switch up how you're proceeding?
I think we can keep at this cadence, just preparing weapons in case it is anything unexpected.
Yeah, pretty fair. Sisters do have a tendency to be like, there's danger. Carry on.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. In that case, you carry on down and eventually, probably about a few more minutes at least, you find yourselves at what is essentially the bottom of this tunnel that's being dug. As you get closer, the chugging noise continues and gets a little bit louder. Obviously, being a mine, echoes and etc., it's harder to tell, but eventually you find the end of the wall, the end of the mine, and this fairly large, kind of a little bit of kind of engine smoke coming out of it, contraption. It has multiple drills at the front of it. It has lots of kind of like kind of pole structure to it. I would say the best way I can describe it is a very, very big generator. You know, the standard generators you get being like in the real world. Looks a little bit like that, but with lots of kind of like bars of metal around it, kind of like a cage, and then a few almost like funnel looking things towards the front, and this big kind of exhaust out the back. It appears to be almost on standby. It's not active, it's not drilling, but it still seems to be on.
I would say let's approach with caution.
That's fair.
It looks a little suspicious, so
the fact that they, as far as you were aware, they've only been using pickaxes and basic mining equipment.
Okay.
And
interesting.
And also that they, I don't know, like they switched halfway through. It seems like this appears to be the thing that has been causing the very even like drilling
Tunnel or whatever. Okay. Yeah, so I think we should investigate this. But everybody should be at their ready, because this is unusual, to say the least.
There are a couple of like branching tunnels out near the bottom. of the mine that kind of go off left and right and etc. Essentially, as you get to this point and you stop, a couple of the twos peel off to the sides and basically aim down the tunnels, and everyone is either on guard for all the other directions or kind of standing by ready for orders.
Okay.
And so we are close to the machine, correct? Just want to clarify. Okay.
Yes.
I will attempt to look it over, and there's like nothing out of the ordinary, right? Like there's no like, strange secretions or blood or
No blood. I would say you're noticing more of the dusting Praxera, seeing as you're looking out for it.
Yeah.
And I in terms of like anything weird, the machine itself is nothing you've ever seen. Like, you've seen mining vehicles before. This isn't necessarily, like, you're not sure this is actually a mining vehicle. This might be some form of engine or generator that has had, like, drills put on front of it, and then you've no idea what
I guess
this
the question is, so is it a form of a vehicle? Like, no, it's it's just a big industrial tool, essentially.
I guess yes, because technically it's on tracks, but
Okay, but you can't. No. You can't drive it.
you can't drive it. It's something you push or.
Well, I mean, yeah. It's like something you pilot, but not like, I guess, like, drive around like a car kind of thing.
Yeah, no.
Like somebody has to be there monitoring it and like kind of
definitely.
making sure, like steering it, as in like making sure it's on the right track and it doesn't get like derailed or something.
Yeah.
Could I possibly use my pilot skill to turn it off?
Interesting.
Oh.
I will say yes. Yes.
Okay,
I like this idea.
If you can get a decent roll, then I would say.
Can I, in the meantime, also ask if I can see that the stuff on the walls and such, is it like obvious that it's coming from this machine? Like, is this machine really covered in it and it seems to like spread from the machine, or is it more of a not certain thing?
Could you give me a both survival and awareness test, please?
Yeah, because if Seraph is gonna reach for it and I can notice that, I would want to say it.
Okay. You can do that first so that you can,
So awareness and survival.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Nice awareness test. That's 2 and 1, and decent survival. Okay. So I would say at this point, as you're looking around the mine shaft, definitely this appears to not only dig, but it appears to have been made so it catches and grinds up the rocks into a dust and then shoots them out. Almost like a lawnmower,
Like a wood chipper.
Yeah, like a wood chipper, etc.
It's a stone chipper.
All right.
Hey. So the dust is most likely stone dust that has essentially been coughed up into the air and everything. Going off that survival roll as well, I would say that it is only a vague, faint whiff. And it could just be because the miners were down here, but that same smell you smelled in that room is a smell you are, like, catching a whiff of now.
Before I say anything, because you made a distinction between the dust and the goo.
Yes. Well, the goo is possibly just because it's, like, this is pretty watertight, so...
Sure, but I'm not noticing any more of that around the machine.
No, not around here.
Okay, sure. If you still want to, Cat, you can make that roll, but the moment I So yeah, maybe make the roll, and then if you want to reach for it, I'll yell.
The roll has been made. 3 successes.
Oh, okay. So I'm assuming you move to touch the machine.
Yes, I'm going to move to attempt to turn it off.
All right. When you move, and I need to recap on my titles. All right. When you make steps towards the machine, Halestri will call out and say, "Assistant Superior, I don't think that's a good idea."
I whip towards Halestri. Sister Halestri.
Well, I'm catching a whiff of the corruption that I smelt in the cabin with the miner, and it may be coming from the machine, so I wanted to prevent you from touching it in case.
You smell corruption on this machine?
Faintly, it could be because the miners were here, or it could be the machine itself. I don't know, but I would not want you to touch a corrupted machine.
Astute observation, Sister Halestri. Good. I back away.
And Sister Alestri is probably like, I should have told the Canoness. She would have praised me instead.
Canoness Minerva.
Yes.
Corruption has seeped into the machine. Seemingly so.
Then we destroy it
Understood.
from a distance
With fire.
with fire.
We'll burn the machine.
We're
With
just
fire.
gonna, just this entire a hole that it's digging just. It's just
Whoom.
yeah.
Okay. So
There goes a lot of the that civilian tax dollar.
yeah. What would you like to do more precisely? Essentially, you're the sisters. Oh yes.
No, I was gonna say, do we have any bombs or anything like anything larger than like just like a flamer or something? Like,
Yeah,
do we have like a grenade like attachment to it?
So you have det packs.
Okay.
Essentially, det packs are kind of like TNT or C4. Very similar. If you want to send one of the sisters running up to the surface, they could get something along the lines of a multi-melter or a melter, which would be very efficient at destroying it and also purging it with fire. If you know what a melter it's basically a highly concentrated microwave that just like fires a microwave beam. It's pretty horrific.
Would I know about that from being on the field?
Oh hell yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure Gareth Rose and Lilith would know
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
a fair bit about weaponry.
Yes, your characters would all be familiar with the more common variations of weapon, and so flamers, melters, las guns, bolters, all the solid shots and las shots and everything.
Would you like us to roll a weapon skill?
Oh no. I mean, it depends what you like. Weapon skill is melee, so if you're gonna run in and hit the thing with a like a sword or something, then not yet.
I'm thinking getting some melters would be a good idea.
Okay.
And taking care of it that way. But perhaps we should also just take a look down these alternate tunnels here to the left and right. If there's anything else in the area, I just want to make sure that we're not missing anything else.
Okay.
So I think some of the other sisters that went that way, I would just wait for them to return and report back.
In that case, as you're sending a couple up to the surface to grab some melters, within like a minute, both teams report back. One of whom says, Commander, we found a body down the end of this tunnel, the one on the left.
A body. Did it look like a civilian or a minor?
It looked like a minor, Mom.
Okay. Perhaps we send Sister Halestri to take a look at the body.
Yes, Mom. And
Understood, Canoness. Sister Halestri. 2 bolters. And I signal that way.
yeah, and the team the two who went down that way, kind of join up with Sister Halestri, and one of them says, "Don't worry, Hospitaller. It's right at the end of the of this section."
I'm not worrying because you're with me.
Right.
To note too, anything that Canoness Minerva says she wants to do, sister Sarah will be will literally repeat everything, but in a loud commanding shout.
Yeah.
She's just that person. So she's just I think we need to go this. I think we must go this way.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or we must go this way.
We must go this way.
5 minutes later, it's I think I could do with cucumber sandwich. Cucumber sandwiches!
I do like
Cucumber
this idea.
sandwiches. Cucumber sandwiches.
No crusts.
Light on the salt and pepper.
And make it light on the salt and pepper.
In
So
that
help me by the Emperor's light.
in that case, what I will say is you will have the melters coming down momentarily while that is happening. I'm assuming everyone's staying away from the dread machine.
Yes.
Okay.
I am on Sister Rose's heels the entire time, almost to the point of if you step back, you're gonna hit me, but I just know to move my leg right back.
Okay.
Like my shadow.
Yes.
So I take.
I back everybody up and I tell the remaining troops with us to basically take point and surround the vehicle. And I tell the flamers to position themselves so that they may open fire.
Well, that's not happening quite yet. The melters need to get back down. But while they are coming back down, Sister Halestri, you are taken to essentially the end of this little mining section, side tunnel, side passage, let's call it. And yeah, essentially, I would say, aside from what looks like maybe some burns on the the side of the face and some burning on the side of the body, just appears to be a dead miner.
All right. It's only one side?
Yes. And kind of they're kind of face down, so it's kind of left side.
Yeah. Is it the end of a tunnel?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. The first thing I would do when I notice that is I would look to the side where the burns are of the tunnel itself and see if anything is immediately dangerous.
No, it's a very kind of short, very basic mining tunnel. Most likely they were digging out some metals or some materials or something, or even searching for some. It's maybe a minute walk through this bit, and it's quite narrow.
Sure. I will still tell one of the people with me to watch the side of the tunnel where their burn part is facing.
Yeah.
So I will say, he got burned from this side. Please watch it. And then I would hover my hand above the skin, feel if it's still warm from the apparent burn marks that are there.
No.
Okay. Do
And
I?
I would say
Yeah.
if you're getting that close, then you realize it is not burns. It's actually dusted like rock. So it's kind of like dust that's kind of like settled.
Do I smell anything of this person?
Nothing especially, no. It's the same kind of like this whole area at this point is just like this very, very vague sensations, smell, etc. of the where that miner was when he was in his little shack.
So a very faint smell of corruption.
Yeah.
Okay. Assuming I am wearing protective stuff, can I make a roll to gauge how long this person has been dead?
Yeah, I'd say so. Could you please roll me your Medicaid?
Yes. Four.
Most likely it is 3 or 4 days.
Oh, okay.
It's a little hard to tell precisely, but it's definitely not like they shut the mines down and then he was killed, or after the mines were shut down. This is something that happened a few days. Possibly he was dead in there when the last time when you were here to investigate that other miner.
Okay, so it's been that long. If I don't see anything else noteworthy on the body, then I will take another glass container, scrape some of the dust that is on the person on there, in there, close that down, put that back, and then I will also, because this person is dead, there is nothing I can do for this person.
True.
I will also before I do it, is there any way that we can notice corruption in a person biologically, besides the stuff on them or the smell of them? Like, how useful for me is a sample of flesh or blood here? Because I would take that if it's useful in some way, you know?
I would say that you probably don't have the facilities yourself, but if you gave it to the Magus biologist, for example, he may be able to discern exactly what's going on.
Okay. As long as I know it's it could be useful
It definitely
in some
could
way.
be useful, yes.
Yeah, if I know it's useful in some way, I will take another container. I will use one of the very sharp scalpel knives on my hand, and I will like carve out a piece from the skin that was touched by the dust and stuff. I will carve out a piece of like shoulder there or something. I will put it in there.
If you'd have liked to, you can like just take it with the dust as well and have it all one sample, or
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But I will take that out, and I will put it away. And once I've stored all of that in like a bag I possibly carry with me, I'll take a few steps. I'll raise up. I'll very softly say, "Rest assured, you will burn bright in his light." And then I'll take a few steps back. I'm assuming one of the sisters with me has fire.
I believe you have a flamer, don't you?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I do. No, wait, sheepy. Do I have a fancy arm? One thing that like is a flamethrower that I can use coolly
there is no
to burn
such
bodies?
there is no such thing as a wristband flamethrower, unfortunately. But you could be having a flamer on your back, which means you can do the cool like swing around, you know, when you're like, and then just.
Sure. I take a few steps back, and I tell the other sisters because they were still watching the other side, and I say, "Our work here is done. Let's make sure it doesn't come back." And then she takes out the flamethrower and is like, "See ya," and burns the body.
I will say, like, as you turn to the other sisters, like, they both have these, like, fairly, stoic, like, non-expressive faces currently, but one of them does kind of, like, look at you and say, "I'll never understand Hospitallers."
She'll ignore that comment. She'll just burn up the body, not knowing what they mean with this, because she's burning up a body that has corruption on it. That's normal. Mind your own fucking business.
Before that, you did take out essentially, like,
yeah, cool.
And
yeah,
they
wouldn't. They wouldn't understand all of the stuff there.
Yes.
Sure.
And you head back. I would say probably about maybe a minute before they get back. Your melter, two of the sisters come down bearing melters, and essentially, Sign of the Aquila, Commander, and kind of like hefting the melters, and says, there's some traffic over the net coming in from sorry, I don't remember the name. There she is. Sister Flare. So
the Hive.
Yeah, no, sorry, not Sister Flare. Coming from Hive Palladium. Sister Flare was the one who you sent as Sister Superior Flare. Was the one who you sent as like overall commander of that excursion.
Yes.
And they say reports are a bit confused, but you may want to get up there, Mom.
Understood. All right, I will take care of that then, if it seems urgent. Sister Superior, would you mind doing the honors with the melters and make sure this is dealt with?
Yes, Canoness. It will be done.
If there's any remains, we may, to my behest, we may have to go to the Magus Biologus, the Mechanicus tech priest, for some further information about this, as this is beyond my expertise. So he might be able to help understand more what this is. So if there's any parts that remain from this, I would prefer if we just deal with it, get rid of it. Nothing remains. But if anything does happen to remain, let's bring it back to the tech priest.
Okay. In that case, I would say most likely, Sister Superior, you're going to attach a couple of bodyguards as she heads back up. Okay.
Yes.
So you're immediately, you hear the Sister Superior, Rose, basically go, you follow her up. and they attach to you as you ascend back up the tunnels. The rest of them are waiting for your orders, Sister Rose.
So we didn't destroy the machine.
But the melters are here now, so they can...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I will instruct the melters to get to work, and I will make sure that the bolters are, maintaining position, but being on the lookout for anything that might happen while the melters are doing their work.
Okay.
And I will await for Halestri to return, unless she already returned.
I would say around about when the melters fire up, the side tunnels are like lit with that flame, and that's when they come back out.
Okay. I will then await Sister Halestri to report to me on the goings-ons.
Okay. In that case, what I'll say is the machine thing itself is essentially melted, it kind of like starts to smolder a bit, like a few cracks coming out of it, like just like small sparks. And as it melts, I would say every sister in the tunnel, including Sister Minerva and her bodyguards, hear like very vague and faint, kind of like almost like ghostly screaming. It's just on the edge of your like auditory abilities, but it just has that. It's almost like the wind, like just the wind whistling kind of thing, and then it's gone.
That's not normal, is it?
No.
Okay.
You would not expect. Well, maybe some Mechanicus would expect a machine to scream when it is killed, but you wouldn't.
Okay.
Maybe
Well-
it was just the wind.
We're just killing the corruption. It's fine.
I do think we're gonna need to pull in the Mechanicus expertise for this one, though I
So-
don't really want to.
We burned the machine and it screamed.
Yeah. Is that like what's the
Fine.
diagnosis there? What does that mean?
He'd be like, well, all machines have
mean
a soul.
good job?
Because the omniscient.
I was gonna say,
says-
wouldn't so do we hear it too? Okay, so I would
Yes.
like to safely assume that Sereth has experienced similar.
I would say you have never experienced this, but I'd say probably here and there, now and then, like when you have sliced through or executed one of the lesser demons of chaos. There may be similar like noises. It's harder to tell on the battlefield though, so. But I'd say
So there's like a familiarity of the sound, but not a actual connection.
no direct connection.
Yeah, okay.
Similarities, yeah. But
Got
it might be enough for you to be like, huh.
Random question.
Yeah.
Would the tech priest be mad if he found out we like destroyed a machine?
It would depend from tech priest to tech priest, but I would say you will find a lot of solace in essentially the riposte of why you upset that we destroyed heresy.
Yes. Okay.
The more
Like,
upset he is about it, the weirder it is that he's upset
in
about
our
it.
defense, yeah. Like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is like what we assessed. This is what we did. Okay. As long, yeah. Just before we destroy this thing, if
Yeah.
he's gonna be like, well, I'm not helping you people.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, if anything,
Okay.
I think the only thing he would be disappointed about is not bringing it back,
Yeah. which we're not.
so
bringing
he
this-
could
Yeah.
like survey it and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Tech priests.
Okay.
So what I'm actually going to do, just for the purposes of this, I'm assuming once destroyed, you're going to all head back. Like, you're not going to stay down in the mines for basically no reason, I'm guessing. So
After the job is done, she will proceed to leave with the dispatch or whatnot, the dispatch detachment, and we will. I want to say she probably would order a different detachment to kind of like make sure that they are guiding the mines, or like to continue guarding them, I guess, to make sure that like, hey, we did something, but you still need to watch it, okay?
Yeah. Always,
the job ain't done.
Always be on guard. Okay. In that case, what I will say is there you have. I mean, it's not like you need any evidence at all, but you have decent evidence that that machine somehow was causing the sickness in the people. I would say, essentially, once you are all back up, there will be a radio broadcast soon. However, I think if you want to have a quick command group conversation, Sheepy could go to the toilet.
Damn it, you're first.
I know. So yes, we will go to the let's call it like command tent, command house that has been requisitioned. And the first order of business, I guess, is what was that? What should we do about it? And what should we do about the sick people and etc. So.
Okay. Sisters, excellent work out there. We have cut off the head of the snake, and we have successfully purged the corruption from the mines, thus protecting the citizens from any infection. The Emperor would be proud in every single one of you. Sister Helestri, excellent job today on the field.
Thank you, Sister Superior. Are we assuming here that I already told you about the stuff in the sideway, or like, or
I feel
that's
like
my
this
question.
would be
If
when
not,
you like. I feel like this is when you could like report, like
okay,
I guess,
okay.
like
It wasn't clear to
elaborate
me.
more.
Because you said
Yeah.
like good job, and it was like I haven't told you anything yet.
Oh no, she just assumes that like because you all came back.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
like, you took care of it.
Yeah, okay, cool.
She is. Yeah.
She will. Yeah. Knowing that you, like everyone in this group, will not understand the need for these or the interest of these, she will still take out the 3 glass containers, and like hold them up for everyone to see. With that, she'll start explaining. In the sideway of the mines, we found a dead miner. He had been dead for 3 or 4 days already, so before the mines were even closed off. Assuming from the signs on the body, he most likely died because of something to do with the machine. He had the same dust, if you can call it that we found across the mines and we found on the machine, all across one side of his body. There was also a strange kind of goo to be found in the mines, similar to the dust. I don't know yet where it comes from or what it actually is, but we have a sample of it to find out possibly. For now, I think the way forward to find out what the reason of this exact corruption or this death is, to examine, well, these things, and we can do everything in our power as the Hospitalis to do so. However, with the flesh of the dead person, I am doubtful about our equipment for such a job, and I do not know if we could find the exact reason ourselves.
I see. Well, Sister Halestri, you have done your job. Thank you. And I will, like, look to a bolter or whatnot, and I will say, send a briefing to Canoness Minerva. Tell her that the corruption has been purged, and that the mines shall be reopened within the next week. As for the source of the corruption, I would like to inquire where the townsmen get their machinery. We will go to the source. If the machine itself was corrupted already, once it entered the town, then it is safe to assume that one of our manufacturers of such machinery might be the actual sole case of this whole situation. That ends this debriefing. Sisters, may the Emperor protect you.
And they will reply, the Emperor protects. Question. What was decided? I caught the tail end of that.
So Halestri reported what she found with the samples. And also was talking about where, like, she doesn't really know if, like, we could provide the necessary tools to discover the root of the corruption. Whereas Seraph was like, you know, like, you did your job, good job, but we're going to go straight to the source. So Sarah thinks that since the machine itself was corrupted, she would like to request a detachment to, or she would like to inquire where the townsmen get their machinery, because she thinks that one of the manufacturers or one of the facilities that construct said machinery could possibly be the source.
Okay. In that case, I'd say most likely you'd want to speak to the person in charge here, which would either be the mine foreman or the headman. Both of whom are around and easily summonable, because you have angry women with guns.
Okay. I also told a bolter or whatnot, or to basically send a report to Canoness Minerva, updating her that the mines should be reopened within a week. The heresy has been, purged. The infection is gone. She's, because being like the sisters and, super in the light and stuff, they don't make mistakes. They finished the job and they fixed it, and they don't need to double check or anything.
Okay.
So that's kind of the line of thought that she's going with. And so I think then she dismissed the party. That's pretty much it.
Fair enough. In that case, as everyone goes off to see to their orders, I will assume a couple of sisters are sent off to gather the headman?
Yes.
Okay. Sister Minerva, you are taking a beeline to essentially command, where you've set up command and everything. Mm-hmm. And when you are entering, there's a sister there with what is essentially a more long wave radio, let's call it. And she looks up and says, Commander, we've been receiving reports from Hive Calliades. There's been an incident. You should probably hear this. And take
incident. All right. I will hear it out.
And I think it's this. Yes.
Oh, yes.
Oh, once you get on the radio and say, this is Sister, this is Canoness Commander.
Minerva.
Commander, this is Sister Etherio. I was with...
Sister Superior Flare.
I was with Sister Superior Flare at Hive Calliades. There's been a incident. She's been shot.
She's been shot. By whom? What's the report?
You also hear in the background, like, some occasional gunfire and, like, one explosion, maybe two explosions, like, as this is going on. She says...
I hear this. I get, Sister Minerva, she gets a little more urgent. She's like, Sister Ophelia, report, now.
Apologies, Commander. The Sister Superior was shot by a sniper as she was addressing the crowd. And the PDF panicked and opened fire on the crowd. They, in turn, returned some shots, and the majority fled down into the Hive.
So the crowd started fleeing into the Hive. Okay.
Yes. After that, the few remnants have taken up defensive positions, and the PDF and our sisters are exchanging fire with them currently. However, we do not feel we have the numbers if this is going to be a general uprising to venture into the Hive or to make an attack. I was hoping to receive your orders to see what we should do next.
Yes. Is Sister Superior Flare stable?
Critical but stable.
Understood. Hold position there. I will send in support immediately.
Yes, Commander. We'll hold position.
Okay. How far are we from the Hive?
About 3-4 hours, maybe.
Do we have like and is that like, can we take like a air vehicle there, or is that still like 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah, air vehicle 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
If you're going by like truck or something, it's going to be a lot longer.
It would be even longer. Okay. All right. Okay. I think that we how many do we have here at the mines?
You have your command squad and a couple of other squads, kind of like you have the advanced party, which was pretty much a squad, and then another squad came with you, so three squads total. But if you all left, then there'd be no one here at the town, depending on whether you want to do that. I would say, given the situation, with the Sister Superior down, that would leave Etherio as essentially in charge, but you don't have a commander there. So like it's gonna. You don't really have anyone to take charge of the PDF as well as the sisters. It'll be difficult for them to work together well, or
Yes. I'm thinking we go over there because the situation seems urgent. But the question is, what do we do with the Cardinal? We're gonna just leave him. Perhaps Sister Lilith could stay with the Cardinal and entertain him, since
that's exactly what I was thinking. Since that's her job, she's gonna be so mad.
You did come down. You did come down in a couple of in a few flyers, because obviously a few squads being transported. So if you wanted, you could take the majority up to the Hive. Leave the advanced squad here if you want to keep a tamp down on things here, and then the Cardinal, maybe with a token bodyguard, and Sister Lilith could head back to the fortress monastery or fortress chapel.
Yes, I think that is probably the best course of action. So Sister Minerva will immediately hang up and begin preparing and heading over to Sister Rose to report this information.
All right. While you're waiting for the headman to be brought to you, Sister Rose, in terms of like 0 to 100, how ramped up is the Canoness commander at this point? We going like 50, 60, 70?
Yeah, I think she's probably like 70%.
Okay.
There.
Okay,
yeah.
she's getting there. So,
Yep.
the Canoness commander seems to be on a mission, and she has gone from, I would say, reasonably relaxed to more like fired up. I would say in this instance, having been her XO for quite a while, you'll immediately tell that she's like battle, like she's gone into battle brain where she's just like, you know, time to, so you're immediately aware something's up before she says anything.
Sister Rose,
Canoness Minerva.
I just received a report from Hive Calliades. Sister Superior Flare is down. There's been an incident. She was shot by a sniper. There's unrest.
What are your orders?
There's unrest there, and they need a leader. We need to go there immediately.
Understood, Canoness.
I think we should send your squad and myself over there, and Sister Lilith can stay behind and stay with the Cardinal, and we'll have a small team remain here for the time being. Everything was dealt with in the mines, I assume.
Yes. A report should be sent to you immediately.
Yes, I might have just missed it as I came here.
There's
Understood.
Immediately.
There's a sister. There's a sister running around somewhere, being like, "Commander, I have a report."
Just past like ships in the night.
Yeah.
But
Understood. The briefing can wait, Canoness. We are
as
ready.
long as
your word.
everything is secure here, then we should head out immediately.
I'd say around about that point, the one of the sisters emerges from kind of like alleyway building further down with a robed man, slightly older, slightly bent over, and marches him up to you, Sister Rose, salutes you, Canoness, and says, Sister Superior, I have brought the headman as asked.
Yes, sister. Thank you. Order the rest of our troop to prepare for...
Embarkation?
Yes. The word just completely escaped my mind.
That's happened to me a couple of times, yeah.
We are leaving immediately.
Yes, Sister Superior. And she immediately turns and starts shouting. Like, orders start getting shouted, and the sisters, who were a bit more spread out, just kind of like, you know, going through places, checking things, start to reconvene. Leaving Canoness Commander and Sister Superior with the headman.
So I will look at him, and I will go... The source of your machines for mining. Which facility do they hail from?
I have a friend who managed to procure us some assistance in our mining efforts. It was not...
Citizen, are you claiming to have acquired machinery illegally?
No, sister. We requested additional aid as the demands of a military industry is heavier than a civilian one. Our quotas were not being met, and we put in a requisition for better equipment and was sent this. My friend put us on the fast track as I had helped him out years back. He sent it over from his hive a couple of weeks ago.
I see. That still does not answer my question, citizen. I want the name of the facility now.
I'm unsure which facility it came from. I would assume one of the manufactorums, but the hive is Hive Calliades.
Hive Calliades. I will look at Sister Halestri, and I will go, and I will say, take note. We will have to take a separate dispatch to the hive. For now, though, we must gear up. A sister is down. Heresy is afoot. And we will squish it under our boot. Sister Lilith?
Yes,
By command of Canoness Minerva, you are to stay here, and you are to guard the Cardinal.
Cardinal.
Yes, sister.
It does not bring me great joy to bench someone as talented as yourself. But we must follow the word of our Canoness, or she will bring us to victory.
Yes, sister.
And Sister Lilith, there is an urgent matter that we must take care of at Hive Calliades. But
Is she on the intercom? Or
yeah,
I was about to ask, how am I getting this information, and what of that last conversation do I know?
Well,
So do I know that the sister's down? Do I know, like...
Yeah. So I would say that you were not included in the sisters go and do this, go and do that, because you are essentially with the Sister Superior, and you know, so I would say you were there for all of that.
Okay. Since I am new to this position, what can I tell the Cardinal? Or what not?
yes. Well, we shouldn't have him worrying that there is unrest in another sector within the planet. So I'm entrusting you to ensure him that everything will be safe and things will be taken care of. That we've had a small thing that we have to take care of, and that he can continue on his tour without worry, because he can always trust the Sororitas to take care of everything.
Yes, Canoness.
AKA
What?
just lie to him.
Lie to him, keep him busy, put on a puppet show, whatever.
Try to make sure he buys
Sudoku.
it.
Yeah.
Have you tried the crossword today?
Yeah, stall him as, if he wants to pet
Tell me
every
about
children's
your
head
journey.
or meet every child in the sector, that's fine.
Oh God, Lilith's gonna hate that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What about what happened in the mines?
Yes. The mines.
Because he does know that there are concerns.
A routine check for safety to make sure that the mines themselves are structured accordingly to the guidelines for safety for each civilian. We wouldn't want a collapse of the mines. Would we, sister?
I only wish I could be as eloquent as you, Sister Rose.
She nods.
I will do my duty, Canoness.
It is much appreciated, Dialogus, for taking care of this. This is still important work.
She clicks her heels and salutes.
Now, Sister Rose, let's get everybody together and get ourselves out of here as quickly as we can.
she's like holding I'm assuming it's like an earpiece or something like that they're talking to. And she goes, "Understood, Canoness." And then she will look up at Sister Lilith and nod, and look at Sister Hilestri and nod, and then she will look and go, "Suit up, sisters! We move out now!" And then starts just like leaves.
Whenever Sister Lilith and Sister Rose interact, I feel like I'm watching the most regimented, organized romance ever in existence.
Like a sisterly romance going on.
It's just like, I like your discipline. I like yours too. Yes, good. And then it's like,
Your uniform is very nice. It is clean and fresh.
We
You
could
buffed
make
your
the
shoes.
Emperor proud
Extra
together.
shiny.
It's up to regulation code.
I've put in requisition order 1123 to the Canoness commander to allow us 5 minutes of cuddle time later. Oh dear.
Oh.
Apologies. That just like as you were interacting, that popped into my head. I was just like, "Geez." Oh.
Honestly, that's cool. Yeah.
No.
Would you
that is
assist me in polishing my weapons?
Oh,
And then
I would be honored.
the song from Ghost starts playing as "Oh
As
my
one's
love."
behind,
Yeah.
like doing
then just-
instead of the pottery, it's helping shine
Yeah, it's like-
Helping shine the gun.
and the guns, just like with like a light haze.
And then
over
Oh,
the
shot.
hands like slowly
Oh,
touch.
my
They
lord.
both blush and they say, "The Emperor is great today."
Or we both like salute instantly, like.
Oh,
Oh goodness.
Oh, apologies.
The Emperor truly made a blessing when he made you.
You respond back with, "I know."
there's just like the light hair toss. I know.
All right.
Look, 40K needs more romance novels, not just all the serious.
Oh,
There's some romance in there here and there.
Yeah,
If you do, just as a quick sidebar for everyone, if you do ever want romance, I believe there's sometimes in Eldar books, but there aren't that many Eldar books, so
You know what faction does have a lot of love in the 40K universe?
We don't talk
Well, I
about that
wouldn't
faction, and we don't talk about what they consider love.
but now I need to know. Being a 40K noob, I need to know. You can't say these things.
Either Slanesh
Slanesh.
or the Dark Eldar, neither of which you want to meet.
Look, Dark Eldar
Yeah.
are, I can fix them.
Oh God.
Fix them.
Oh yeah, every 40K fan on the internet ever. I can fix the Dark Eldar. So, we will, if everyone is all, unless there's an interaction you would like, I think we can fast track a little bit, to essentially, we'll have the command squad and an additional squad going to reinforce the sisters already at Hive Calliades. And then Sister Lilith, you will be with a couple of token bodyguards and the Cardinal in another transport ship headed back to the fortress monastery chapel place. So because I am a little bit curious,
Oh no.
we will begin with the Cardinal and Sister Lilith.
And I would just address him as Cardinal, right?
I mean, probably yes. If you can have his name if you want, but I feel like
No, I feel like
I feel like Lilith.
So awkward.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if there's another formal name that he would have that she would know.
No, Cardinal would be the
okay.
one she would use, and so it's in a flyer headed back. It will probably take you about an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get back. So I'd say about maybe 5 minutes in after you've like informed him that you're leaving, bundled him in. Can I ask a question? Would Sister Lilith tell him anything aside from like, okay, it's time to go, let's go get in the flyer?
And she's gonna be sitting there looking so awkward. Like that idea of when somebody sits down in like a party in a group of people and they're the only person that's still so formal. Everyone's kind of relaxed, maybe taking off their shoes. She's just still sitting there like hasn't moved an inch and just constantly doing the check around the ship and so she hasn't said anything unless she's addressed. She's not saying a word.
And I would say the two like bodyguard sisters, they're like, if you need me to come up with names I can, but for now,
no, you're fine.
Thank you.
She's not gonna remember people's names because she's not like, unless it was her superior to kind of give back. In her mind, we are out there doing a task and we are out there and we do lose sisters on the battlefield. So to keep herself emotionless, she doesn't learn people's names unless it's like,
oh, so she's like a rank person. It's like, sister, do this, sister, do that, or captain, tell me this. Okay.
Yeah.
In that case, there's a couple of sisters on the side guns of the like the bodyguard ones. They're kind of like, they're in the flyer, but they're further towards the cockpit, and they're on some guns looking outwards. So it's literally Cardinal on one side, you on the other, just in this big kind of open troop container, and he's just sitting there looking around. It's maybe like 5 minutes of awkward silence before he's like, you are Sister Lilith, correct?
Yes, Cardinal.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a bother, but I was curious as to what the sudden was it an evacuation of the village, of the town? Why we had to leave in such a hurry? I had only met about a half of the population, I believe.
It was a routine drill and check to make sure that the village is safe if there was ever an issue with the mine.
Oh, a routine drill and check. I'm unfamiliar with military parlance. I'm not entirely sure what that is, but...
It was to make sure that everybody stays safe and healthy and protects civilians at all costs.
Well, that is our primary concern, so it sounds like it was very much needed. And are we moving on to the next location where I may address the populace?
We are heading back. We're heading back to the monastery, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We're heading back to the monastery to let you rest and rejuvenate for our next day's tasks and greetings.
Oh, I was under the impression we would be going a bit further and wider, but I guess if it's the first day of my tour, we don't want to overdo it.
We don't want to overdo it. Correct. Cardinal.
I just suppose there's nothing for it. These are turbulent times, and I'm not in charge of the planet anymore, of course, so it's... Do you think possibly tomorrow, when we go out, we could maybe go to more than one place to boost the morale of the people?
If
3 or 4?
If it is what I am told for your safety and for the safety of all civilians, then that is what we will do. I am following orders
Of course.
and keeping everybody safe at all costs.
And tell me, you are the Dialogus Advance of your order, correct?
Yes.
Sorry.
I'm like, I think so.
I couldn't stop myself from doing like a head nod. I was like, yes, you are. Is that a position you've held for very long?
About 2 days.
Well, you do a very good job. Where were you positioned before? Was it in a court of some kind, or
On the field.
on the field? You were attached to a general or commanders of some form?
Commanders, and I was a flamer.
Oh, I'm unaware of that position, but oh, good. Well, clearly someone has decided you are meant for bigger things than the battlefield, and if you keep on impressing people like this, I doubt you'll ever have to see a battlefield again.
But the battlefield is what keeps us all safe and removes heresy.
Oh, of course, yes. But there is always a need for other tasks. Not everything can be achieved on the battlefield.
We can cleanse almost everything with fire. If the Emperor wills it.
The Emperor wills? Yes. Yes. He goes quiet. Wow. Having a conversation with Lilith is like
She's not wrong.
It's like walking into a wall, turning, and then walking into another wall. You're just like, okay.
I'm sorry, she's so difficult, GB.
Yeah. No, it's cool, it's cool.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Interact with my NPC.
Oh, Ellie wants to interact so bad.
Yeah.
This is like, Ellie wants to just be like, tell me everything. What kind of crosswords do you like? I'll make sure I have everything cozy. What's your favorite kind of tea? That's what Ellie wants to do.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want a pair of slippers?
Let me get your baba. Okay. In that case, I will say that for the probably remainder of the trip, every now and then, like maybe once or twice, you see out of the corner of your eye the Cardinal like kind of vaguely raise a hand a little bit and like open his mouth as if he's actually thought of something to say, and then close it and like just like rest back.
If she noticed that maybe after the second time.
Yeah.
Yes, Cardinal.
Have you always been attached to the Order of Pure Intent?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. This is my home.
Good.
And you?
I grew up on the planet, and eventually, as I was promoted through it's not really promoted. I'm trying to use military parlance for your benefit.
Thank you, Cardinal.
Through the ecclesiarchy, I found myself being called to a higher purpose, to see to the running of this planet for the glory of the Emperor and for the Imperium.
We are happy to have you with us, Cardinal.
Good. Well, I haven't had enough time to visit your chapel, your headquarters. However, I have had intermittent dealings with the Canoness Commander, and now that I am no longer in charge, or possibly I will be able to host a few sermons for the sisters.
We could make that a priority when we get back. She's like, that's something for him to do.
Yeah, I clocked onto that. I was like, damn, that's sneaky nice. That would be wonderful. May get in the way of the visiting other places on the planet, but it is just as important work to minister to the order as to anyone else.
Yes, Cardinal.
I will say, seeing as he was trying very hard there to think of things to say, it probably lapses immediately back into silence, and all you can really hear is the rattle of the flyer as it heads back to the chapel, the fortress chapel. Once you get back, just as a question, it's not something that really needs to be played out, I don't think. But we may come back just for a laugh to check on it. Who knows? get a little more riveting Lilith.
Talking to a wall. It's great.
Does Lilith stay with the cardinal, or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, she was told to protect him, so she's like, she knows to be his shadow, unless she needs to go away to organize anything like getting a sermon.
Yeah,
having sisters there for him to be able to have a sermon. She's pretty much at his beck and call, and she knows that.
All right, good to know.
And she would pass that on too. Like when they land and they're getting all cozy, and she's like, if you need anything, literally I'll be outside your door.
In that case, most likely you'll be interacting with Zitra and to a lesser extent Astera, the twins.
Okay.
Seeing as he's an important person, so I will say once you have settled him back into his room, there's a knock at the door, and Zitra kind of pokes her head in and says, Sister Lilith, is there anything needed for the Cardinal?
He has not requested anything as of yet. He mentioned wanting to do a sermon while here.
Very well.
And I do not know how to go about organizing that.
I will see to it organized. Would you prefer it to be this evening or tomorrow?
This evening would be great.
Very well, sister. I will make sure that the proper arrangements are made.
Thank you.
Is there anything you require for yourself?
No. No, sister. Thank you.
Very well.
I was going to ask a question, but it's fine.
In that case, for now, we will fade out as the Cardinal is happily sipping some tea out of a very fine cup and saucer, while a thunderously faced Lilith is standing over him like, "You shall be protected!" We will fade back in with essentially, I would say just for the purposes of being able to have a conversation with Halestri, Rose, and Minerva all at the front end, close to the cockpit of the flyer, as you are en route to as you are en route to the hotspot of Hive Calliades. Essentially, when you land, you're going to be landing at a hotspot. I wouldn't really say, from what you've learned over the radio, and as a sidebar, if you do want to recontact via the radio, you can do that. But as things stand, you're essentially going to be landing at a hotspot, so best to figure out the plan of like how you're going to proceed before you land. So
I'm going to be standing behind the pilot. I'm going to be holding onto the seat, and I'm going to like access my little radio, and I'm going to say this is Sister Sereth Rose. I repeat, this is Sister Sereth Rose. Over. And I'm trying to access the troops that are down there to see if I can get through to them.
Yes, Sister Superior, this is Sister Ethereal.
Sister Ethereal, report. What is your location and status?
We are currently situated at the site of the disturbance reported by the PDF. We have surrounded the area and are exchanging limited fire with a small pocket of resistance. However, we are reasonably sure that the rest of the populace has headed inside the Hive, and we are unsure whether they are hostile or not. Any moves to advance could result in a heavy counterattack.
Understood. Send your coordinates to Sister Halestri. Are there any wounded with you?
One seriously injured in critical condition, Sister Superior Blair.
Understood. We're coming for you, sisters. We'll provide covering fire, and we will extract the wounded. Do not follow. I repeat. Stand your ground and your position. We're on our way.
Yes, sister, we shall hold the line.
And I will turn to, and I make it known to, like, the rest of the troops that are in there, like, or the rest of the troops that are in the actual, I'm drawing a blank.
Flyer?
Yeah, flyer. Hello?
Hello.
I was gonna say airplane. I was gonna say, like, jet.
Yeah.
It's not a jet.
It's a helicopter.
It's a helicopter.
It's essentially a helicopter-looking thing that's kind of a bit like a jet.
Yeah, so I make it known to the rest of the sisters, like, I make sure that the comms are open so they can actually hear and be briefed on the situation.
Yeah.
And I will turn around and I will go, sisters, one of our own has been wounded severely. We are walking straight into enemy lines. Shoot to kill. Any resistance will be purged. Are we clear?
And you receive an overwhelming response of, yes, Sister Superior.
Sister Halestri,
Yes, this is Superior.
you will be in charge of making sure that the wounded are stable enough so that we may extract them.
Right away with Mrs. Sister Superior.
Our priority is to take our sisters home. Any resistance will be purged with bullets and fire. Stay strong, my sisters. We walk in the Emperor's light. And then I like end that, and I like get suited up and ready.
Okay.
So what was it? So I'm going to assume that the previous sister I talked to sent me coordinates to their location.
Yes.
And I would like to make a very informed decision on the fastest route to them regarding the position where they're placed, and then also where the sister said that they're like the small pocket of resistance is located.
Okay. Essentially, just to give you a little bit of a vibe of what you're kind of stepping into, a hive is filled with sometimes billions of people.
I was gonna say it's huge.
Yeah. Oh,
so
if you've played
it's
Dark Tides.
massive. Yep, it's massive. So I'm trying to find the correct route, like the fastest route to them through the Hive streets.
Well, so what you're actually coming to is you're going to be on essentially the outside of the Hive, on the kind of like one of the kind of I'm not going to say entrenched, but it's like a section of the Hive, just outside the main big, the main big Hive.
Yeah, but
building.
we're not like, I'm assuming since we are technically behind enemy lines, we're not going to be like landing like right in the middle of them and like popping out saying, "Hey." We're So I mean, there is going to be like some fire, but like we're not going to be like literally landing right in their hands.
So the situation you're dropping down into is essentially the area used to be mostly like subsistence farming, and they were just kind of like, it's almost like a little town at the side of the Hive that was being evicted to make room for munitorium, a factorium, to basically start producing stuff for war. And the populace was a little bit upset that they hadn't been told where they're going or what was going on, or they were just kind of being turfed out. So the PDF was brought in to essentially make sure that nothing went wrong. The sisters were sent to kind of help with that because it was turning into a bit more of a riot almost. And then as the Sister Superior was going to tell them where they were going and to start moving, she was shot. The PDF panicked and opened fire, and now there's intermittent gunfire between the two sides, and it's a bit of a standoff. Technically speaking, you're not sure they're even enemies. Maybe. I'm not, I mean, that depends on your guys' perspective and everything as well, of course, but...
anyone that opens fire on the sisters craves death.
Is going to die.
And requires the sweet release of the Emperor's embrace.
The Emperor's mercy, as it might be called. I can...
You can say that. They're gonna embrace the Emperor.
I could see Sister Rose being employed by the Inquisition in the future, to be honest. Like, there's there are vibes in there.
Honestly, agreed. Nobody be scooping her up, though.
It'll be Inquisitor Gisholt will turn up at some point and be like, I like her. Can I take her, please?
Yeah. No.
No.
You cannot.
People always stealing my useful sisters. Like, I need some people helping me here.
Yeah.
All right. In that case, unless Sister Minerva, do you have anything you'd like to plan or say?
No. The one thing Sister Minerva will add is keep an eye above, since there were snipers. Sister Minerva will assign a small group to maybe take to like the upper areas where there's like rafters or anything like above. She will assign to look out for that.
You do have Sister Avicera, who has a stalker bolter. Essentially, if you want, you can set her to an immediate counter sniping role.
Yes.
Essentially,
I think that would be good.
Essentially, once you land, she'll separate and basically go as close as possible and set up to counter snipe anything she can find.
Yes.
Okay. In that case, within the next 30 minutes or so, let's say, like, you know, you've been flying for a good few hours, the pilot radios into you, Sister Minerva, and says, Commander, ETA 5 minutes if you would like to prepare for disembarkation.
Yes, let's get prepared. Sisters, get ready to embark.
And immediately there's like a crumph of all of them standing up at the same time and starting to like they'd like swing their weapons out and start checking them, like clearing the firing, etc., and like loading in rounds and everything. Just to remind you, you do have a squad of basically the same, but in your command squad you have your standard bearer, heavy flamer, 2 bolters, another flamer, a stalker bolter, which is kind of like sniper rifle-ish for bolters, and your hospitaller, along with your XO, Sister Superior Rose. So you have a reasonably flexible squad, I would say, unless you have a specific goal in mind. Most likely you're disembarking, taking positions, and then assessing the situation, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, feel free to come out blazing and just like destroying everything in your path, you know. But
Yes.
That's pretty much That's pretty much what Sarah's doing. She was told that she needs to extract her sister, and she will do any means necessary to do it, whether it is to cause some panic and stuff. And I mean, if there's obviously civilians, she, you know, will maybe like pop a couple shots off with her pistol, and you know, she will shout, you know.
Okay. In that case, let's get to the disembarkation, where you feel the jolt as the lander lands and the back opens up. Immediately, the first 2 sisters are out the doors, followed by the next 2, and they split up and immediately move to this line of vehicles and kind of concrete-looking barricades and walls that are kind of, I'd say, maybe about 50 feet away from you, from where you landed. And all of you kind of proceed out like that. And you will have very intermittent and partially far away fire. Aside from that, you do hear the occasional shouted order, but the majority of the PDF, and in fact the sisters, are either hunkered down behind cover, reasonably relaxed, or taking an occasional shot out into this kind of distance. The area around you is a little bit red dusty, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, that kind of like dusty, deserty air, a little bit of red tinge to it. To your right and up is the giant, massive shape of the Hive, and in front of you is essentially there's a few kind of trenches, but they're not battle trenches. They're like farming trenches, you know, so they've been plowed and dug up so that water can be run along the sides and things like that. And then just kind of furrows of fields, and then you go in towards like some shacks, metal drums and things like that, a well, etc. Kind of a very metal, concrete, shantytown vibes of like farmers and etc. So I'd say from the vehicles that your forces are basically posted up behind, you've got about 2 field lengths of open area, and then you've got intermittent fire coming from the more building, metal village area. And then kind of to the right of that from your perspective, a little bit further, maybe I'm not amazing at distance, but maybe like a kilometer away is the entrance to the Hive, where there is a bit more activity, but it's kind of further away. There's no gunfire coming from there. And actually, I'd say at this point, there's not much activity at all. Maybe one person running, and it's pretty heavily quiet around here at this point.
You mean heavily quiet as in like
aside,
nobody is around? Like, or
yeah, like sorry. Aside from the gunshots coming from the town, which again, intermittent, further in towards the Hive is quiet.
Okay. I will ask one of the bolters to take point, and we will follow through, like to inside the town.
Okay.
I will tell them to keep their guns up.
As a note, all of the sisters are full battle armor, so it's not like they don't have their helmets off anymore, etc., etc.
Yeah, helmet up, guns ready. Okay.
I have another one. Scanning for mines.
Okay.
Because there might be mines.
Possibly.
I don't know.
Yes. I think the first order of business would be to try to stop the intermittent fire, perhaps, that's going on in this open area.
Well, because the firing is inside the town.
Yes.
So, like, that's what we're hearing. So everything is like, we're on this open area going to the town to...
Well, so
Yes.
Right?
there's an open area after the trucks and the barricades. So you have a line of trucks and barricades, even like a tank with you. And that's where the people who are already here, the PDF and your sisters' squads you sent earlier, they are all kind of around there, kind of blockading this area, not letting anyone out. And then you have 2 fields of like open area, which are actually just fields. And then it goes into the town, into the, there are buildings, structures, etc.
Okay. And Canoness Minerva is with us at the moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
I will, after I, direct one bolter to take point, another one to make sure that they scan for mines, I will look at Canoness, and I will say, we're ready to move. On your word, Canoness?
The Canoness Minerva, she...
Oh, your audio cut out. Syrinx, can you...
What? I'm
oh,
not,
okay. Sorry,
I'm not
Testing,
saying
testing.
anything.
I could hear.
He wasn't sure if any of us were
Oh,
talking.
yeah,
Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was my audio or. There you go.
There we go.
Yeah. Nope, it was me. I accidentally unplugged my mic.
For a second there, I was like, did I go deaf? I can't hear anyone.
I was getting... I realized, because like Zoom was like, your audio. I was like, oh, shit. Anyway.
They're cutting off our communications.
Fire now. No, okay. No, actually, yes. Minerva will take a moment to kind of scan the area herself and raise a hand and then just kind of point forward for everybody to move forward.
All right. In that case, are you, in terms of the line, are you taking command of all of the sisters, and what are you going to do about the PDF?
Yes. What can we do about the PDF? Like, can I, like, do we just, do we just, do we just, I mean, I don't want to shoot them, right? Like, do we, like, but they essentially, are they gonna cooperate? Like, what's the...
So,
Do we have like an intercom kind of thing? Like,
Yeah.
so, here is my question for you, Canoness Commander. You sent your sisters on this mission to help the PDF maintain control of the situation.
Yes.
And it essentially, essentially one of your sergeants was shot. The PDF, someone in the PDF or multiple people in the PDF panicked and fired into the crowd, which caused the crowd to fire back and has caused this situation. How are you feeling about the PDF right now?
Yes. I essentially think they are useless. And like we're just gonna have to take care of this. So my sisters are taking care of this. So maybe just have them stand down, or just like, we're taking care of this now. The situation's under our control. Stand down.
the current sisters that are that were already there.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I know that Sarah.
Yeah,
Sarah told them to basically stay where they're at. Don't follow them, like the pocket or whatnot. Like, don't follow the ones that were moving, because one of the sisters reported back that they weren't sure if they were friendly or foe, and so Sarah was just like, just stay there.
Okay.
And like keep your position and like don't move.
Okay. So, and we're gonna basically go to them.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say let's move forward. The PDF, like...
Could you please, Commander, roll me a leadership for me, please?
Okay, let's see. Come on, dice. Leadership.
Yes, please. Ooh, nice. Very nice. Okay, in that case, incoming transmission to your data slate. Oh, as a sidebar, both myself and Tracy, like a couple of days ago, I was like, data slate, that's what the things, I couldn't remember what like the personal computer was called, and like a week later I'm like, it's a data slate. But yes. I've sent you a message on your data slate.
Ah, yes. Okay. Okay.
That's the result of your roll.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I will pull Sister Rose over. Sister Rose.
Yes, Canoness.
The PDF have made it clear that they are useless. That we cannot rely on them to do anything. I think we need to take a hold of the PDF, take control. We also need to find their commander and execute them.
Understood, Canoness.
I would like to send a small group in to find them and take care of this.
Would you like me to set a separate attachment deeper into the hive?
Yes.
And I nod and go ahead, Sheepy. You could tell me no.
No, you don't need to go into the hive. The PDF are the like planetary defense force who are being backed up by the sisters. So essentially, kind of about 200.
Now, is the planetary defense force the one that is shooting at the sisters, or is it?
No, the planetary defense force are like the local militia army, like let's say army of the planet.
Okay.
And they are essentially the generally sent over for any security or basic battles.
Got it. Is there one by us or no?
Yeah. So
Oh, there is one.
yeah. So about 200 yards down, there is a command vehicle with a man and a few subordinates who is shouting orders and generally being loud and busy.
How armored is he? Does he have like a chest plate on, or is he like in a full like?
So
suit?
yeah, he's got chest plate on. He's got a peaked cap on. He looks a bit more official than some of the other PDF troopers, but
Excellent. After Canoness says, we need to take care of the PDF, she will nod and she will like look around, and then she will look at the one that's barking orders at them, and she will just straight like beeline, just like very sternly, with just like the serious look on her face, just stomp on over them.
yeah. And
She would. Yeah, go ahead.
And as you kind of like stomp over towards him, a couple of sisters like take your flanks and follow up behind you. As you reach him, he turns around. One of his subordinates like whispers at his ear as you are getting up towards him, and he turns around and like kind of goes, sister.
Are you in charge of this dispatchment?
Yes, sister.
Understood. She grabs him by like his actual the plate that he's wearing, like the chest guard, and she will like, she's assuming that there's like a tank or something. She will like grab him and drag him over to it and pin him to it, and she will go, "You will give me clearance to any PDF offices or security facilities within the Hive now."
Yes, immediately. And he kind of like for a second, like his fists like clench, unclench, and then he kind of says, "Do it! You heard her!" To his subordinates.
And then she turns and like kind of with a side eye while she's like holding him.
Yeah.
And then she looks at him. "Your incompetence is palpable. You are hereby dismissed." And then she lets go of him.
And he kind of like stumbles back. He says,
She turns and looks at him. "Pray the Emperor doesn't see you right now." And walks away and goes to Canoness Minerva.
As a sidebar,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't fully carried out your orders.
I was gonna say, is this the leader that?
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna get to this. So
orders
so
of
she
basics?
walks over. She walks over to Canoness Minerva, and she goes. She's just like, "We now have entry to all security PDF facilities, and like basically like sub
This
like
area of the-
pathways and stuff like that." And then what was it? She will say, "By the Emperor's light," and she will salute, and then she will turn around and she will pop a shot in the guy's head.
Okay. In that case, to embellish this a little bit, you turn, you spin imperiously away, and the subordinates are on the radio, kind of like you can hear them saying like, "Sisters of Pure Intent have taken command of the situation and will be giving orders henceforth," and the PDF, what looks like maybe a lieutenant or something, like brushes himself down, kind of steels himself, and like is kind of shaking off the shame of being dressed down in front of his men and being, someone's gone over his head essentially, or forced him to cede his command. And you see him kind of like close his eyes and like straighten up, and then start to step forward as if he's going to go back to his unit, and then you just hear this like and just a punch through the middle of his armor, punch straight through, and this like splat against the tank behind him, as he slumps, he like flies back, like hits the tank, and then just slumps down, like eyes dead, immediately, completely gone.
Purge the unclean. Burn
For the Emperor.
heretic.
And then
None.
she turns to look at she looks at the one PDF guy who was like on the radio or whatever, because he's probably like,
Oh yeah, he
he's
paused and like looked up.
and she will look at him and go, send a separate dispatch to this location, and she will forward the location to where their sisters are. And then she's just like, clear a path.
And then immediately, yes, sister, and starts shouting orders down the. So, with that achieved, you have executed the PDF commander whose incompetence allowed for this situation to happen. The PDF is at your beck and call in terms of for the immediate future, and they will follow your directions as needed. You have probably around about 1,000 to 2,000 PDF troopers in this vicinity, ready to enact your orders. You also have, I believe, around about 400, 500 sisters. Wait, let me brain that. No, it's not that many. It's 10 groups of. Sorry, a second there. So you sent 8 squads. The squads are 10. So you got 8. You've got probably 100 sisters, along with a tank and a few support vehicles.
Awesome.
So I would say, with all of this happening, the fire is pretty intermittent. You know what? This is actually a really good moment to have another roll, because rolls are great. Let us do I would say your choice of survival, leadership, or awareness. This is specifically a battlefield thing. Basically going off the amount of fire you're receiving, you can give a vague guess as to how many hostiles you're
Do you want us all to roll for that, or did you just want...
I would say command squad, so Sister Minerva, Sister Rose would be the best choices. I don't think it's something that Sister Helestri would really have a handle on.
No.
Don't worry, we protect you.
Yeah, I will say I'm literally at the back of the group, just like, if anyone gets hurt, I'm here.
Well, so when everyone else disembarks, you will actually be brought Sister Flare.
Cool.
Sister
Yeah.
Superior Flare.
Nice.
I was wondering about that.
There is a hospitaller here, but she's not command squad, and the best she could do was essentially stabilize her. So.
I think in a very like calm way, as if someone wasn't just on the brink of death. She would be like trying to help the other hospitaller.
Yeah.
Like instruct her and like just explain what's happening.
Okay. So the other hospitaller, essentially, when you join her and you're there, she instructs you that the Sister Superior has taken a clip to the abdomen, which has possibly torn one of her organs, like her stomach, but also maybe her lung. So there is the possibility of increased complications.
Oh, did we get to her?
She was brought here, apparently.
I mean, so she was on top of one of the trucks, shouting at the crowd when she was hit by a bullet.
Oh, I misunderstood it. I thought we were heading over to her to extract her and bring her.
Oh no,
back.
she was on the line.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Okay. So yeah, she possibility of her lung collapsing if you're not careful, and also either infection or poisoning of the blood through the stomach being clipped as well. So
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm assuming that there isn't very much to do in the situation currently where we are, instead of like uh um stabilizing her and making sure that she like doesn't die, and then basically just telling the others that like they would need to get out of here fast enough, not for anything like bad in the blood to fully circulate and stuff.
She could do with returning to a place with the facilities to properly mend her organs and deal with any other complications. I would say it's not something that is an immediate emergency, as in like if we don't get her back right now, she's gonna die. But the complications could arise at any time, and it'd be best to have her back as soon as possible. You did bring 2 flyers with you, and there are a few more flyers here from the other squads. Essentially, the only... Well, I would say that's enough for you to possibly want to send her back now. I'd leave it down to you whether you raise this or not, though.
I think we could totally, or my opinion would be that we could totally send her back with the other hospitaller.
Yeah. Would you like to raise this suggestion to
Yeah, to my girlies.
Well, they are currently mostly together, so you probably don't have to worry exactly. But I am curious, Halestri, when you go to report and make this report to Sister Superior and to the Canoness Commander, who do you report to?
With great pain in my heart, actual heartbreak, tears inside. She first directs herself to Rose.
Okay. So Sister Rose, you received this report from Sister Halestri.
I look at her sternly, and I go, "Excellent job, Sister Halestri. You will stay here without attachment. Canoness Minerva?" And then she looks at Minerva as in like, "What shall we do next?" And that's all she says. She basically just looks at you and just says, like, very sternly with like no feeling, "Good job.
Yeah.
You did your job. Excellent. Now you don't exist anymore."
If you, yeah, when you say that in that way and stuff, I think there's a longing glance at Minerva, only thinking of like, how would she have reacted if I had told her this news, you know, if only.
So, Canoness, just to give you an idea of what this decision means.
Yes.
So, and for Sister Superior Rose as well, if you do end up like weighing in, essentially the Sister Superior is not in critical condition, but would need to be seen to as early as possible, preferably. If something goes wrong here, they can't deal with it, and there's a possibility that it could go wrong at any point. The problem is if you send her back in a flyer with the other hospitaller, you'll be 1 flyer down, and so if they need to extract, they're going to have to extract either on foot or via truck, which if you need to get away from here quickly, like say for example, if there is a bigger something happening here and you're overwhelmed and have to retreat, you'll have to leave at least 1 squad here.
Yeah. Oh, that's tough. I really want to help our Sister Superior here. I don't want to just leave her to die, essentially.
Well, it's also not just helping the sister. A Sister Superior is pretty experienced, and it's the equivalent of losing a sergeant or a captain of a squad.
Yeah.
Which it depends on your priorities, you know, yeah.
Yeah. I think, and it's probably not best to keep her here because she's in critical condition. So I would like to send her back on one of the flyers, which I understand will leave us one flyer less if things get bad.
Yeah.
But I do want to make sure she's taken care of. So I will make that order.
Okay.
Send her back in the other flyer with the other hospitaller.
Yes, Canoness. And I will walk away, and I will leave. I will leave Celestri and Canoness Minerva there, and I will go over there, and I will be like shouting, and I'll be like, "You go over there! We're doing it! You get her out of here!" Like that kind of stuff.
You're doing sergeant-y things, basically.
Sergeant, like yelling around.
Yeah. Okay. So I think at this point, unless Sister Celestri would like to take the opportunity to say anything to Sister Minerva, or is she just gonna sit there like, I just want to watch you work?
I don't think there's anything useful to share. So instead of wasting Sister Minerva's precious time and words, she's just gonna admire.
Okay. She's like sitting there like, man, look at her brilliant tactical mind go. And Sister Minerva's there like, oh god, I just had to make that crappy decision. Now I have to decide what to do about these assholes. It's I've got the Cardinal back at home and I have to deal with him.
She's just sitting here like,
she like completely forgets that they're on a hive that's being like taken over.
So in that case, Canoness, you are presented with a situation which is honestly, it depends on what's exactly happening. It's hard to gauge. You have the small number. Oh, sorry, I forgot to say. Based off your earlier role for leadership, you would guess you've got anywhere from about 70 to 100 people spread all around this town, kind of trying to intermittently fire to keep you guessing as to how many forces they have, which means from a gathering of probably over 10,000 people, you've got maybe 100-ish people who actually have weapons and are actively engaging with you. The rest have run into the hive to take cover and panic.
Okay. Could I have some of the group give cover while the rest advance into the hive?
So depending on how, that's a good point. I would say, if you want, you can have the PDF cover you if you don't trust them to go in with you. You can also leave a squad or 2 or 3 or 10. Like,
I think the PDF will have make the orders have the PDF cover while we advance in.
All right. In that case, could I suggest, as a long-time strategy fan, you could have an advance with your tank and transport support vehicles.
Yes.
And have the advance undercover through the field.
Okay.
It's going to fuck up the fields, but...
I am thinking of this like an XCOM game in front of me right now.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
No, I think that's a good idea. Yes.
It'll essentially allow you to use the tanks and vehicle support as cover up through the open fields, and then they can charge in and start clearing out the buildings.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
And question, out of Celestri, Rose, and Minerva, who's going in? Like, I'm assuming Rose is gonna be basically leading the charge to some degree.
Yes.
I'm just curious as to whether Sister Minerva is going to use this chance to get into the fight or not.
Yeah, you know what? I think, because I'm like, what would she do staying back here? Is there anything left? We've sent the other sister away. We've taken charge of the PDF. I don't think there's any reason for her to stay back at this point, so she's gonna go in as well.
Yeah. No, I'd say so.
Yeah.
And Sister Rose, front lines.
Oh, you know it.
Aye. And Sister Helestri. Are you taking a front line, or are you kind of hanging back to Medicaid? I guess it does depend on your orders as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, Sister Superior, what are my orders?
And that's me, right? Or are you talking from Minerva?
It's
Okay,
you.
I will look at her and I will be like, you will stay with us and attend to those that are wounded.
That doesn't answer anything. Is it front or back?
I guess you have to interpret your
Behind,
orders.
and she like looks at her. She goes, behind us, Helestri, lest you be caught in the crossfire.
Okay.
There we go.
And she's just like you should know better. But obviously she does. But she's just like, you should know better, kind of thing. Like,
my questions then for Sister Rose and Sister Minerva. What are your battle weapons of choice?
oh, I'm
What are
so
we-
glad you asked.
What are we taking in here?
Ah, as much as I really wanted to do the power whip, because I feel like that would be good. It's not really fitting for.
It's very Dark Eldar.
Well, not no. Technically, well, no. There's it's like the it's
Repentia.
some sub. Yeah, the Repentia. But I don't want that one. So instead,
yeah.
I would like to have a storm bolter
Okay.
and an eviscerator.
Eviscerator is two-handed, so you'd find it difficult to go in with both.
Okay, I'll just have a
I-
chainsaw sword.
I'd also say a Stormbolter is probably a bit tough for you.
Really?
Stormbolters carried by Terminators.
Well, they're carried by Space Marines and Adepta Sororitas.
Do Adeptus? There must be a different pattern.
Though it's but like they're utilized by very few elite. Like and also like
you're
Imperial forces too.
You're establishing your elite.
Yeah, basically
eliteness.
it's like yeah. And they've got like glyphs and like purity seals on it and stuff. But yeah, I was like looking up to make sure to like double check.
There is a Sister of Battle with Stormbolter. That's also two-handed. So you're talking like you're probably not melee with that. I would say.
I kick them. What do you mean? That's melee, right?
Oh yeah. You can hit them with the gun if you like. It's pretty fucking heavy.
Yeah.
It's gonna kill them. But yes, I would say if you want, I would say you could probably have like maybe a knife as well.
I was gonna say I think a dagger or what's the word? The proper word?
Combat knife.
Yeah, a combat knife.
Yeah.
Probably like in her boot or something. That'd probably be what she has as like her secondary, like her melee weapon.
Yeah, I'll tell you something, guys. It's useful to be this close to the Emperor. You get all the pretty toys. Just this
Yay.
massive Stormbolter.
I actually was doing research on a lot of the weapons that Sisters of Battle and stuff would use, so that's why I was just like, oh yes, I'm so glad you asked. As much as I love an eviscerator, I love eviscerators. Don't get me wrong, like I love them, but Stormbolter, I mean,
oh, Stormbolters are so cool. Once you you can melee with it. You can smack people with it. Sister Minerva.
Sister Minerva would be equipped with a condemner bolter,
Okay.
and a power blade. Just
like power sword, power axe.
yes, or power
Oh,
sword. Yes.
Could we go with a power maul?
Oh,
Like power
yes.
maul is like a club that's just got an energy field. So instead of like
Power-
slicing, you like crump.
Yeah. So it's more like a mace kind of.
Yeah, like
okay.
think like a winged mace, like just the
Yes.
spiky bits pointing out, and you just smack them. Okay, cool. Sorry, when we start talking weapons, my 40k nerd comes out, and I'm like, power swords are cool, but how about a giant bar filled with a power field to just smack them?
Yes.
All right. In that case, as the tanks move forward, the sisters come in behind and take up a column formation, taking cover. The gunfire starts like zipping over your heads as you push forward, a couple of shots fire from the tank, and a couple of the machine, essentially bolters, heavy bolters on the up there. A couple of the heavy bolters on the back of a couple of the support vehicles start opening up and force the let's call them traitors, because that's probably what they are to you. Force the traitors' heads down, and the amount of fire coming towards you lessens. As you start moving over the field, there is actually one explosion as a frag grenade lands somewhere in front of you, thrown not really far enough, and you hear the pinging of metal of frag hitting the side of the tank, and a small piece actually embeds into it. However, keep moving forward, keep firing, and you can hear over the sound of the fire the start of kind of panicked shouts of people saying they're pushing forward, and pour fire on them, but reasonably far away. At that point, there is an increase in fire. However, again, the fire from the heavy bolters, the fire from the cannon on this tank, forces their heads back down and them to go back into cover. At this point, the tank rolls to a stop. The support vehicles roll to a stop, as they would have to kind of push through the buildings and stuff. And it's your chance to basically charge into the town and take it. My guess would be either Sister Minerva or Sister Rose would give the order to charge. Who would like to take it?
I mean, when Canoness Minerva's on the field,
she takes
Seraph
the
is
charge,
second.
Yes.
Yeah, Seraph is second in command, repeating everything that she says and stuff, and barking the orders.
Yes, and I think because Sister Rose is kind of in the front leading, and Sister Minerva's in the back, kind of taking charge and giving the commands. So Sister Minerva will make the order and make the call in the back, and just point forward for her sisters and just purge the unclean and just move forward. And yeah. So.
Okay. And as you shout that out, you hear just down the line, "Yes, Commander!" And then they surge around. There's a cheer/cry as the sisters move forward. As they move forward, their bolters start to open up and start peppering the side of the walls. There's metallic clangs as they hit, and the sisters push up into this town and start engaging with the enemy. So, as this is happening, I'm going to hit on a couple of moments for both of you, just things you see, things that happen. Essentially, as you push through into this town, following the sisters who surged forward, you see slightly blurry figures as they're moving from house to house. You pop off a few shots and you move forward with them. Sister Rose, a couple of pings hit near your head, and you turn to see what it was. There appears to be this kind of wrapped up figure between two buildings. You can just see the outline of him between these two buildings. He appears to have some form of solid shot rifle that's on automatic, semi-automatic maybe, who's taken a couple of shots at you.
Am I feasibly within firing range?
Oh, hell yeah.
I would like to shoot at him.
Okay.
So he dies.
To embellish that, and feel free to take your own embellishments here as we go. You swing round, and there's a second where you can almost see his mouth drop very slightly as he's wait, is that a... And you just open up with the Stormbolter, and it almost sounds like the cannon from the tank firing. This thing is loud, and explosions hop at the base of the two buildings he's in between, and then fly as the ground is kicked up, moving towards him, until one of the Stormbolter rounds just explodes on his chest, tears his arm away, leaves this massive hole in between his chest and his shoulder and arm just goes flying off, and he spins around and just flops on the ground.
Out of character me is like, but in character me, I'm just like,
yes.
And then I just turn around. I had no emotion, just done.
Just rack another round into the Stormbolter and say, "Get wrecked, scrub."
Or I was just like, for the Emperor. As I like reload, yeah.
Sister Minerva, you are with a couple of sisters who, as you are like snaking your way through a couple of buildings, as you are one of the sisters, you hear like this metallic kind of shink, and she goes down to one knee as you see a couple of bolt rounds have been fired towards you, and she has taken a ricochet shot. Essentially, it hasn't gone through her leg, but it's like gashed her severely. As you kind of like spin around, you see a couple of traitors in the window, just about to like bring their fire to bear. As one of them shouts, "Over here, there's a couple more!"
I immediately turn and shoot at them.
Okay, yeah, you spin, you raise the bolter up, and you just depress the trigger, and the window, which is essentially just like sticks and, you know, like very, very basic stuff, like sandstone almost, just gets pocketed. So much so that like dust is thrown everywhere and completely obscures the building for a second, as this like salvo from you and the other sister just opens up. When it clears, there's barely a wall there. The majority of it's been destroyed, and what you can see is like maybe a leg or two from the rubble around it, as these traitors have been like kind of, you know, a mixture of exploded, shot, and crushed by the wall, the bullets, and the bullets.
I'll also grab the sister who was shot, and I'll kind of like help her up, you know, like the usual, like help her, and like as she's kind of limping, and we just like move forward together.
And as you help her up, she says, "Thank you, Commander, but I can make it by myself. Please, you're more important. Go forward. I'll catch up."
She nods. We leave none behind, and she kind of
yeah. Go ahead.
Moves forward if she's able to keep herself up.
I will scream, "Sister Helastri! Wounded! Attend to them, please!
Medicaid!
Post haste!" Sorry, delete the please. Post haste! Sorry, I gotta be...
Natural politeness coming out there.
Yeah.
When my sergeant says please, I start to sweat.
I know, I was like, please, and I'm like, wait, no.
Now!
That.
Forget that last bit.
Okay, so as you keep moving through, I would say all of you to one degree or another encounter small pockets of traitors in buildings, on top of buildings. There's even a moment when you see a couple of traitors running away from the town, forwards towards this big like doorway hole in the side of the hive that they've been going in and out of. But you also hear a couple of rifle shots, like, and both of them like just fall, you know, kind of blood splatter going on the stone, as the sniper you put in place has taken them out. And things calm down to the point where you are essentially very occasionally hearing a report of a bolter, maybe the whoosh of a flamer, as you are finishing clearing off the area of the town. I would say the only other thing of note that happens is Sister Minerva, as you are going from one house to another, you sense this like something to your right as you're moving from one house to the other, and as you turn around, you manage to just grab the arm of a man kind of in like very ragged clothes and like wrapped bandages around his face and everything, as he tries to like plunge a fairly long knife like into your neck. You catch the hand, and he says, "You die."
I immediately take my power mauler or whatever, and
So what I will tell you, so you can embellish this how you like. He is weaker than you. He seems quite thin, quite weak, and more rabidly desperate than actually skilled. Essentially, having caught the surprise attack, you are pretty much able to proceed as you like. So feel free to embellish as you like.
Yeah, I just like push him to the ground then, since he seems kind of like feeble and not really a threat. I just push him down and almost like shove him into the ground with my foot.
Like hold him there as he's like swiping with his knife, like die.
Yes. Everybody's dream to get as I step on my sister in battle crushing you, you know, that's a and then I just kind of just take care of him and move forward. It's not really don't really think too much into it.
You hold him down with your foot. You extend your arm and hit the power field, which buzzes into life as you're like staring down at this heretic who dared defy you and the Emperor. And you just raise your club as the camera's like looking up at you, and then bring it down, and it just covers the camera, and it like fades. It cuts to black.
Yes.
As that is all happening, the camera fades back in a much more darkened area of the Hive, of Hive Calliades. As the camera sweeps through the streets of the Hive, this is a pretty impoverished area. It's fairly it's like low lit, poorly provisioned, and a lot of people are either poor or like, you know, always wondering where their next meal is going to come from. On one street you have a one of those typical like supply barrel, metal barrels with holes in it, with like a fire going, and people are roasting some kind of like, don't ask what it is, meat on the fire. A woman says, I've heard that the PDF have been given orders to purge all of us down here. We're not useful anymore, and they're just going to get rid of us. And the camera sweeps along and stops at a couple of like, you know, ragged up and very bedraggled men, kind of like just sitting in a little lean-to next to a building. And one of the men says to the other in like a very low voice, like, I heard that the PDF has been infiltrated, and that they're going to come down here and kill us all if we don't join them. The camera then swings away again to a couple of people at a bar drinking some horrific rot gut. One of them like tanks back all of it, and the other one says, so yeah, the Cardinal's been deposed and assassinated. I hear the entire planet's about to fall. Finally, the camera swings one more time to the edge of the Hive, where a new area is essentially being cut out for the populace outside who are being moved. As we see one of the miners with his hand pushed against this fairly large machine with massive drills on the end of it, being like pushed into the wall, opening up more areas. As the camera goes inside the machine, we see little scribbled symbols that, if anyone were to look upon, would make them feel ill and their head hurt. They'd start to hallucinate. As the rocks are passed through these, crushed and passed through these symbols, the symbols start to glow like a light kind of pinky purple, greeny blue color. And then they're pushed out the back as dust, drifting up into the atmosphere of the Hive. The camera moves out of the machine, pans back away from it, and we see around about 50 to 100 machines being pushed into the side of the hive to open it up more. And we will end there for today.
Damn.
Damn is right.
Well,
I've been sitting here just like, but I didn't want to be like on camera, like,
how many more machine do we need to melt down, huh?
Yeah, right?
so good.
These rumors going around too, you know?
I knew it. I knew that freaking facility was the source of the corruption.
So, to give you a little bit more info, not to make you fie and rue your choices, but if you'd have taken the cardinal on his tour instead of to the mines, there would have been an assassination attempt, which would have given you a chance to either capture or kill the assassin and interrogate them.
But let's not follow with all the good. I mean, it could have been possible that the cardinal just could have been assassinated.
True.
Yeah.
If you had
Alexa, stop.
if you had have gone to the hive to deal with that situation personally, it would have given you a chance to stop the sniper and capture and interrogate them.
So, you know,
Dang
this is
it.
just like those RPGs. You
That's-
make choices.
Well, yeah,
You
that's why I was
make
like,
choices.
And
Wait,
then
Well-
you
see,
look up
what was it?
the
See.
YouTube playthrough.
Yeah.
The thing is if you hadn't have sent as many sisters as you had, the PDF would have been wiped out. So
If I had sent
if you hadn't have sent as many squads of sisters as you
okay.
did, when you said it, like I'm gonna send a
like
lot of
8.
sisters, you know, like
Yeah.
8 squads. I was like, okay, damn, that's
okay, well,
gonna do with that. And hey, you could have sent a squad off with the cardinal. He would have been assassinated.
oh god.
So taking the cardinal with you was a great choice.
Yeah. Wow.
Good choices.
Oh, man, all right, you know.
I'm sitting here like you know, it's not all amazing, all the best choices ever, but you can never
No?
make the best choices
There's
ever.
never-
No.
Yeah. I feel like
You did very well, like navigating the command choices you had.
man.
Oh,
Oh no.
Syrinx
We all
disappears.
shifted.
No.
Oh no.
Syrinx.
Let me see if that's
No message.
I need to know whether she's rejoining.
I
or
had
whether
noticed that she was freezing up a bit earlier, so it might be an internet,
Be an internet.
thing. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
I can't spell today at all. So, while
Sister down. I repeat.
while that's going, and we'll see if Syrinx is coming back. I'll see about fixing the cams. Oh, if she comes back, then I'll have to read.
Yeah, it's like it's one of those things where it's like the minute that you fix it, Syrinx is gonna come
Yeah.
back.
You know what I'll do is I'll fix it
I'm
very.
technically still in frame. I think all of us
Yes.
are technically still in frame. Well,
There we
except for
go.
you.
I am
I'll fix
sister.
mine very basically
Just like
and
History.
fix that very basically.
I am the hospitaller now.
Oh, this is a plot change.
Yes.
Okay. That should do for now. We can see everyone. Apologies that it looks a little bit janky, but I don't want to have to fix everything again if
Sorry,
Syrinx comes
chat.
back.
You'll just have to bear and grin with us.
So, and also you get my shoulder here in Minerva's place. So this is the Canoness commander right now. Is my shoulder. So yes. Before we do outros and everything, I hope you enjoyed this episode. We had some combat.
Yeah.
Things happened. I think
Yeah.
it's still.
Oh, she responded.
Okay.
Internet pooped itself.
Oh, okay.
Anyways.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, I think the funniest part about that is I didn't ask you to roll for the. I was like, roll this, roll this, roll this. Combat time, no rolls, just go.
Well, I was like sitting there. I go, can I shoot him? And then I was like, maybe I should ask to roll because I remember asking to roll for like or using a skill for earlier, and then I don't know. My brain was just like, we're going to purge heresy. We're gonna purge heresy. We're gonna purge heresy.
There we go.
Narrative.
Yay!
Combat.
Yay!
Anyway.
Welcome back.
I like the narrative combat.
Yes.
Especially ones that Shibi does. It's always great.
Yes.
Is it bad? I was kind of expecting like the salsa dance.
Oh
music.
yeah.
He played that in our Somnambulance. Well, I totally just butchered that.
Somnambulist.
Name. Yeah,
It's okay.
that word
that
show.
word.
So it was very good.
It took me literally probably about 8 months to say duacroma.
Yes.
Duacroma, yes.
I have a tendency to come up with words and names and things that just.
Conventual or.
Although
Now
It's
I am
Shibi
the
language.
oh dang it, you fixed it. I was just gonna say now I am the
No, I moved it
hospitalis.
around. I will say that I think every single time I've said Praxera, I've said it a different way.
Yeah.
Like I hear myself, I'm like, that's a different way than I pronounced it last time. Praxera. Yeah, it's terrible.
To be honest, I would have a worse time with Lilith, like Serestra.
Sarastra.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Serestra.
Serestra.
Yeah.
But yes, so looks like things are happening. Who knows what's going to occur next? But
Yes.
Yeah.
Drama.
I think it's possible you're going to have to deal with at least a section of the Hive next episode.
I mean, okay.
Which,
Yeah.
I'm not excited at all.
yeah, no. One of the interesting things about Chaos, because I think you guys can probably, those of you who are familiar with the 40k, symbols, corruption, all that kind of stuff, but obviously it's some Chaos bullshit. The interesting thing about Chaos is, like, when there's a Chaos uprising, it's literally like the entire populace just turns into like soldiers for the enemy, and
Like soulless.
It's not great.
So like
soulless, brainwashed, corrupted people.
one of the problems.
Obviously we know that.
Yeah. One of the problems with it is, like, say you have a hive of, like, 100 million people or something. Let's say like 10 million people. You have a hive of 10 million. You're going to be able to raise like 100,000, 500,000 soldiers maybe from that. A chaos cult or a chaos force will have 10 million soldiers from that.
God.
So
I also realize in 40k there's like a bajillion people in the world. Like it's just like millions of souls die every day, and it's like millions of people. I was like, how many people are on?
there are hundreds of thousands of worlds.
I was like,
wild.
there's a lot of people in the 41st millennium.
And and the thing is too, is that several of those planets have imploded or been glassed. So it's like,
it's just millions upon
we're
millions.
like rabbits, apparently.
I can't even fathom that in my head, because like our like normal human populations are just like a few billion or whatever, and it's like
just a few billion.
There's like 100 million people in this one hive alone. I'm like, holy shit.
Like if you consider Earth to be like a bit high level of like a regular 40k planet, from what I know is not quite as many people as we have here, dependent on which planet it is. But just saying averages, you have like the same number of people on Earth times a few 100,000 maybe, probably more.
Wow.
That's the population of just the humans. Then you've got like the orcs and the Eldar. There's not that many Eldar, but not anymore. So, I don't want to keep everyone for too long. Let's hit our outros, and then we'll head off for the night. And I think we should start with the person who had their first sheepy battle experience, which is Sister Minerva, and also Miss Magitek.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I am Tracy, Miss Magitek, and our Canoness commander. I mentioned this in chat, but I realize I'm giving like Battlestar Galactica vibes for anybody who's watched. Like, yeah. I'm like Commander Adama, who's more cool, collected, and has to make these like super big decisions. And then there's like his XO, who's like a bit more, I forget his name, but he's a bit more like hardened and like the one barking out all the orders, a bit like
that's
so it's
exactly
like
the vibe.
Yes, I was like, man, this is giving those vibes perfectly. So if you're trying to get a visual of like the dynamic between myself and Sister Rose, that in my mind, that's what I'm now picturing. Yeah. But yes, that's me, and that's my character, and you can find me at twitch.tv/magirpg, where I play games. We're back into the swing of things because we were on a hiatus in January, but now we're back. So I GM a game on Fridays that I'm going to be starting a werewolf the apocalypse game next Friday for a couple of weeks, so that should be interesting. And yeah, that's me.
Okay. You know, I've GM'd a werewolf game.
Yes, I know. And I actually was gonna watch some of it just to get like
some
like
of
a
it.
little bit of the info.
So have you asked Josh about it?
I did. I meant to tell. Like, I didn't know you were in a werewolf game. Or like that sheepy ran. Yeah. So I am gonna watch some of it to get some inspo, because I need to get my mind in it before I start. Yeah. So yeah.
I will say I'm probably not the best person, but it's not the best show. I didn't stick. Ask Josh about it. He'll tell you about it. He'll get the 1,000-yard stare, and
it's the vibes, not the
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Let's swing it on over to.
But no, people decide to hot potato.
Oh,
themselves.
sorry. Yes.
What is happening?
Sorry. Please.
I changed that last week.
That
was my fault.
So I have to learn the rules. I will. So wait. Do I pass it to the next?
Hot potato it over to someone.
Hot potato. How about you, Syrinx? I'm gonna hot potato it.
Oh, there you go.
2 things. Hey, I'm Syrinx, Warhammer newbie, your friend around the block. I had fun watching these strong ladies in their element mostly today, and just admiring from the sidelines, honestly. I'm confident that we will combat the corruption, not next episode, but sometime in the future. And you can find me at Syrinx on Twitter and Instagram as such. And I'll hot potato it to L.
Oh yeah.
Hi. I also got to like admire and watch all of you for the second half, and was literally just sitting here so enthralled and loved every second of it. My name is Elbel. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. Same name, starts with a 3 instead of an E. I stream 3 times a week and play in tabletop and have fun and always talk D&D. I'm still working through my first playthrough of Baldur's Gate, and also play retro games. And I have ADHD, so you can never know what's going to actually happen or what we're going to talk about. So that's it. So then Kat is on to you.
It's on me. Hello, my name is Kat. And I enjoy Purging Heresy usually on Mondays around 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Please continue to join us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you can catch more Purging of Heresy, I do a lot of art. I'm in the midst of kind of coming back from a stream hiatus, but I do stream on Twitch. It is /I'mCat. And then on Twitter, where you can see all of my artwork and my random posts about my dog or my ADHD, it is I'm Cat. So yeah, that's where you can follow me at.
You.
Really working on art commissions. I draw some cute stuff.
Can I?
And I would like to, I mean, who would I like to hot potato it to?
Could be anyone.
We'll start the circle again.
Let's keep going.
Like,
Go around.
you could
I
actually
would
just.
like to.
I would love it if you didn't even do this whole thing, but just hot potato it to like Tracy. Just like said, like, and I'll hot potato it to Tracy.
This is the game we're gonna play. It's hot potato. You know. I would like to hot potato it to Sheepy.
Hello everyone, I'm Sheepdog. I run the Wandering Inn. I gave an intro at the beginning talking about all the important things, and I'd love to talk more about everything. However, I am almost desperate for the toilet. So I will finish this outro here and we're gonna head off. Thanks for watching everyone. Bye!
Bye.
Hello everyone, this is just a very quick recording at the end of the video. Don't worry about this, I semi-forgot to do the super chats. And I was so desperate for the toilet, I panicked and ran away. So we have Peachy Pixel 8 asking which Chaos God would be the god of fishing. I would say Tzeentch would be the god of catfishing.
Yes.
I feel like Nurgle would be
Nurgle? Papa
yeah,
Nurgle?
I think Papa Nurgle would. Because he sits there with that angler's hat and all the hooks in it and everything. He'd totally be the that's a grandfather thing
Yeah,
to
I
do.
was gonna say, I think Papa Nurgle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd hate to see Korn trying to fish. He has no chill. He'd get pissed off and start throwing grenades in about 20 seconds.
He looks so gross.
What, Papa Nurgle?
Did you just look up
Yeah.
Nurgle?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I favor Slaanesh.
I'm surprised you don't favor Tzeentch, actually. Tzeentch is the one you can't predict. The most
Yeah, he's the
chaotic.
unpredictable one. He's like he's super unpredictable, but he's also like he does it on purpose because he's just that intelligent. Like he's just super. He's all about like scheming and
He is a bit of a nerd.
like planning and plotting. Yeah, he's like about like scheming and plotting. And so like I can admire that, but I really like Slaanesh because yeah, that perfectionism kind of thing, and
it's hard not to vibe on Slaanesh once you see the images of them all.
Yeah.
Which I have just put
Yeah.
in the chat.
Yeah.
You can probably guess which one Slaanesh is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I hate to think what Slaanesh
I would have
do
liked
with
Gluttony,
fishing.
but I don't like Gluttony.
Papa Nurgle is the
Papa- my-
nicest.
Yeah. I've got people who like Papa Nurgle, and he's okay, but it's just
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the other one we had today was from Damned Man. Hello, Dialogus Lilith. Inquisitor Damned Man here. What are your honest opinions of the Cardinal? Is he worthy of his prestigious position?
Okay, so Lilith's answer, not Ellie's. I think that she doesn't fully understand how people get in command above except on the battlefield. So unless you've earned it, she's like, okay, you have to have done something to earn it. But she hasn't seen it. She hasn't seen his true colors. So I don't think she fully trusts him. But I don't think that she doesn't trust him. You know what I mean? She's like, I'm waiting for you to show me your colors and show me that you're worthy of your title.
Basically, she's like, I'm waiting for you to be a coward so I can dismiss you as a person.
Exactly. Which is why, like, Rose is so, like, she looks up to Rose so much because it's like, you are constantly showing me with your actions that you deserve to be where you are.
Yeah, she's got that military precision and discipline and...
Yeah.
Okay. Well...
Ellie really likes him, though. Ellie's like, I just want to be your friend. We could both do a crossword.
Yeah, it's always nice to go against the grain. Having a planetary governor who isn't a horrifically corrupt asshole is always a nice change of pace, because most of them are. Yeah, yeah, so if you want more questions, every live stream, you can throw down a super chat and ask them. If you want to throw down a super chat on one of the videos, I believe you can do that too. I think. Yeah, I'll always queue them up for next episode. So do feel free. With that, we're gonna head off. Thank you for watching, and yeah, this will just be a little bit at the end. Bye.